Well, everybody, my name is John, so you probably already know that, but if you don't, that's who I am. Now, what we're going to get into today, not this or that, we're going to work on something a little different. Get that question going inside your head. You get that one time you go, I wonder if. That's what we're going to try to solve one of those questions here today, because we're going to use what's in this box here, turn on what's in that box there, to see if we can make it work. And the generator for our little experiment right here, PowerSmart. You can get these online, put you on a link on there. This thing came like 2 days right after I ordered, so super quick shipping. So I'm gonna put some gas in it, fire it up, do some tests on it, but I'm hoping it will create enough to make that work. But as I've been sitting here pondering, I thought when I ordered this, it's supposed to run 110 or 220, so I should be able to run it off that. But it was saying it came with a 220 volt plug, so I'm not sure if we get all the pieces and parts to make that work. So we'll have to find out. That's supposed to be a dual voltage machine, and this should be able to work it out. But I got some testing to do on, but I'll get this opened up and this opened up and get those set up. All right, now box number one, what we find in here is, okay, cool. Now you can get these in several locations, but it's a relatively inexpensive one. I think 150 bucks. I'll get you one of these. I'll put a link in the video description, but I wanted to get one that wasn't horribly expensive because the idea is I want to make a portable welding situation. That in case if I'm on the trail or out in the middle of nowhere, can I make this thing work with a generator? That is the question we're getting into here today, but we're going to give this one here a go, demo it, I guess, just the same, but see about if it'll actually do the job or not. So let's get this out of the way and get the other box open. I just have to show you this here because I just don't believe it, but cute little machine. I mean, I'm in good sized hands, but let's check this out. It is a tiny little thing. So for being portable and being a portable welding system, that's what I'm trying to go for. I think this is a great setup. This is really cool. I was concerned, but look, it comes with an adapter to go from the 220 to 110 plug for our experiment. Now, I know they'll probably weld better with 220, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're going to do some experimenting. But this is really neat, though. It comes with spools of wire. I don't think I've ever seen a welder that actually comes with spools of wire. That's pretty cool. It's also set up for stick welding. I didn't know it had that in here. I guess I probably should look a little further into what I bought. Grounding clamp, pretty self-explanatory. Comes with a hose for the regulator, but I don't see a regulator. These are just spools of wires. But all in all, for the price of that machine, that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna hook up one of these spools in here, and then we're gonna open up our new generator and see how that looks. Additional note, this is regular wire and then flux core wire, one of each. So extra cool. My buddy Louie would love to have this. I ain't no good at that flux core stuff, but it actually comes with some just the same. Well, let's just put our peepers on this thing right here. Look at this, comes with directions. It's gonna need gasoline. Never figured that. Now, I kind of expected it's gonna need some oil, so I go find some oil somewhere here in the shop. But I think this is gonna work for our experiment. It says it's 120 volt, 20 amp. We have 120 volt, 30 amp also if I had a different plug. But I think for all demonstration purposes, I think this is gonna work fine for what we need. And this thing, I just can't get over how adorable the little thing is. But anyway, looks like oil goes in there, pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, that's pretty simple, pretty lightweight. Pull start, of course. But I'm gonna get some oil put in that thing, put a little gasoline and fire this thing up and see what it does. Now this just blows my mind just a little bit, just because I thought it was really cool. That's where you put the oil in at. We discovered that has a little cover, great, no big deal, right? So what am I talking about this for? Because it came with the funnel that's threaded, that screws right in to the hole the plug goes into, so you don't make a mess, because as you can imagine, you may spill oil inside here, and good luck cleaning that out. So they're smart enough and included it with the generator. Pretty cool. Okay. Now a splash of gas from my vintage gas can that still has the vent in the back. Yay. I think this thing's older than my kids, but it just works so good, I don't want to get rid of it. All right. I'm not going to fill the tank all the way because, yeah, I don't know when I'm going to use this next. I don't want the gas to go bad. So hopefully that's enough for our experiment. We'll see how this goes. So that means we can officially take this off because we got oil and gas in it now. Now, see about firing this thing up. Quick little walk around here. They actually got kind of a cool little display. It shows you fuel, everything as for what's going on. I kind of like that. We have our standard 120 outlets. We got our 12 volt cigarette lighter outlet adapter. And just in case you have some USB questions or concerns, even includes those little guys right there. That's pretty cool. Now that's some kind of a cool eco switch. I'm not quite sure how that works. Might actually read the directions. And here's a 30 amp 120. So you can actually run your air conditioning at your campsite probably with that guy there. Looks pretty self-explanatory. Really cool machine. Check it out. It said PowerSmart was where I got it from. Super quick shipping, reasonably priced. I'll put a link here in the video if you'd like to investigate, buy one or get one. Unfortunately, I don't get any kickback for selling them. Just telling you what I bought in case you want to know exactly what I'm using. Now, unfortunately, the directions are printed in picture here. Put some oil in it, put some gas in it, turn it to choke. Click, click, click. Great. And you pull the little ripcord here, and she should go off. That was easy. Cool. That's going to work. I'll put it set up down here on the floor. I'll get the welder set up. All right, for the time being, I've got the welder plugged into my wall outlet 110. That's going to be our baseline. I have a chunk or two pieces of 1/8 inch plate here. I'm going to run a bead on the wall voltage and then a bead there on our generator and do a comparison. Do a side by side, literally, and see how it goes. Got this thing plugged in. I'll turn it on. And hey, oh, and lights come on in the front, so that's a good sign. And it looks pretty self-explanatory. You've got your gasless selection, MIG, TIG, MMA, and you've got your different wire speed or wire diameter, I meant. And it looks like you can change it to automatic. Yeah, it runs both the voltage and the amperage up at the same time. So I like that. I mean, it's a cute little thing. I think it's gonna be perfect for what we're going to do here because the size is just really, in this case, size matters. It works real nice. Well, that's kind of a cool feature. Let me show you this. This little feature right here says feed wire. I don't know why they haven't done this for years, but what actually has going on there is right here. When you go to feed the new wire through, you got to pull the trigger or work it through, or you can just go like this on this machine. And it feeds it for you. How absolutely genius is that? So that feature alone makes it extra cool. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you. I think that's really neat. All right, well, they made it to the end at least. I'll bet you she comes out now. Huh, how about that? A little different style tip than I have in inventory, so may have to get some different tips for it. All right, ready to rock? Got all set up here for our first pass. I've got my hose hooked up to my tank over here from my other welder, just so I'm gonna run the shielding gas on it. Now, this one doesn't come with a regulator, but they're not that expensive from the jungle store. Well, this is my 1/8 inch plate. That's what we're gonna do first. We're just gonna do a little butt welding here, put the two panels together and see what it does. That's our wall. This is gonna be our generator side. So let's go ahead and do a couple passes. I basically have the welder set on nuclear meltdown, as high as it will go on 110 wall voltage. I'm gonna see how that does. Wow, okay. Now, I didn't taper it back. I didn't leave a big gap between the panels, so I won't say it penetrated all the way through, but there is actually starting to show up a little bit. So, if I tapered that back, God, I can't get that apart. It probably would have went all the way through. Weld's nice. I mean, weld's very nice. That's on wall voltage. Let's go ahead and hook up to our generator now. See what that does. Order of operations says start this thing first. We know it runs. working, I think it did just the same. Burning through about the same. Like I said, if I would have tapered that or spaced these panels out a little more, probably would have went all the way through. But all in all, it lays a very clean bead. Now, would I rebuild an entire frame of a car in the woods or something like this? No. If something broke on the trail or doing some off-roading or even some racing, whatever it might be, could it get you by, to get you another pass or get you around or get you back off the trail? I think the answer is yes. Like I said, looking up really close, the wall weld, that came out really nice, can't complain. And then our generator weld looks just as good. So I don't see, again, why that won't work. And this little machine is really quite impressive. That's on 110 volt. Imagine how much better it could run on 220. Unfortunately, I didn't buy a generator that has a 220 plug, but that wasn't part of the experiment. This is on the cheap. I have a link for this in the video. That way you can buy that. I think it's like 150 bucks for extra promotions. Check it out. That thing there, a little over $400, but I plan on using it for camping and several other things. It wasn't just for this experiment alone, but I thought it was worth checking into and sharing with you the results in case you wanted your own portable welding rig on a relatively, let's say, fair budget. You can actually make things happen with these little items right here. One more additional quick note. You know these little spools of wire we use for these welders? They're about $10 to $15 each, and it's 2 pounds. I found another solution that's a better, more gooder deal. And it should be right here in this box right here. Now, we talked about my other welder. It can run the big spools. This new little guy here, not so much. But if you can run the bigger spools, well, they are a whole lot less money. You can buy a big spool for about $25. Again, I have a link in the video description on that. You can actually run these bigger spools and save some money. Now, unfortunately, it looks like this one got damaged in shipping. I think my Amazon driver, he used to play track and field in the shot put. He likes to see how far he can throw stuff, but I think it'll still operate work fine. But check this thing out, 25, 26 bucks. I got a link for this too. I don't get any money for it, unfortunately. I wish I could. I'm promoting all kinds of items, but just trying to find a way to save you a few bucks. If you're rebuilding an entire car like I'm doing here in the background, that much welding and that much repair, well, you're going to burn up a lot of spools of wire. You're going to save money by one of those big guys right there. All right, so in conclusion, did this operate that? Absolutely sure did. And the cool thing is, look at this little tiny guy right here. Size doesn't matter in this situation. This thing really quite impressive for a little machine. And then the cost, super low budget. If you even an introductory welder, if you're just gonna start doing some of the stuff you see here, plug it into your wall and use it. It's gonna work just fine. So that's a nice little machine, especially for an entry thing, or even long term. I know $150 welder, is it gonna last forever? I don't know. But for that kind of money, you can experiment, you can learn, and I can actually lay a really clean bead with it. So imagine if I spent more time dialing it in and getting used to it, or even running it on 220 volt. It probably has a lot more potential. This guy here, I actually got it so we can go camping and do some other things. Because my kids like going glamping a little bit. At least I get them outdoors or doing some stuff, but they still kind of like to have some electricity, because we always did primitive camping when I grew up for the most part. So we're a little bit spoiled. But anyway, I share these things with you. And of course, don't forget buying the big spool of wire. It's going to save you quite a few dollars on many projects over the time. I'm going to upgrade to the 10-pound spools because you get those from Amazon too. Really cool guy too if you talk to him. Really helpful and friendly. Now, unfortunately, mine got damaged. I don't think it's any fault of his own. Just it happens. So, but he offered to replace it for free, and I guess you say. I said, don't worry about it. I'm going to run it. I think it's going to be just fine. So anyway, appreciate you following me and all this stuff out here. Now I'm going to get back to work on my dad's car here, 68 Firebird convertible, and go keep playing with some tools and whatever and doodads, making it all happen in this little tiny space and sharing it with you. And we'll catch you all next time.